Welcome to the Penventon Hotel for Table 6. We've got a fantastic discussion today and a fantastic meal to come through. We're going to be talking about women in business, which I'm sure that it's going to be not a quiet discussion moving forward. So to start off with, the Financial Times in February reported that there's been a drop in female directorship for the first time since 2014. Now, we know we've got some fantastic female directors in Cornwall, but there are no statistics. What do you feel about the amount of women on boards in Cornwall? I can personally say from the Chamber of Commerce's point of view that we run two groups, one league, which is 250 employers plus, and one called the Growth Business Forum, which is 50 to 249. And certainly in those two groups, women are seriously underrepresented. Laura, what do you think?
Well, we've got practice based in Truro. Our clients are kind of Cornwall and Devon based primarily. And with around 500 clients, a lot of those being limited companies employing around kind of 10 to 50 employees, I would struggle probably to name a handful of those that have female directorship. So it's definitely an area that I think we are underrepresented, especially in Cornwall.
So why do you think that is, ladies?
Could that be something to do with our business makeup though? Because I wonder what your definition of directors, with women in being directors, but also about leadership roles and what that means. Because our business community is by far the greatest sort of micro, small businesses. And so whether or not women would identify themselves as business directors or whether actually they're just running their own businesses or being sole traders and things like that. So I just wonder whether or not we can compare ourselves with the rest of the UK and actually whether we should be looking at sort of comparators rather than trying to compare ourselves with London, for instance.
That's very true. I mean, we know that Cornwall has a larger makeup of micro businesses, and certainly a lot of those are female entrepreneurs, but there's some statistics recently that showed that women tended to start their own business in education, care, service sectors. Is that the same in Cornwall? Jess, I know that you actually run your own company. What do you think?
I think it's really fascinating, and to completely go slightly off topic, I think it's not about what the position is today about female directors or where we stand or where we view ourselves. It's actually about what it's going to be like in 2020, 2025, 2030, and what we as women in today's society, knowing that there are issues, and that's fine, but actually how do we change them? How do we pave the way now to change the future so that our children's children aren't having these discussions, that it's a moot point, that it should be normal. So that's kind of my view on it. As for being a female director, yeah, I'm a director. I'm a badass director. I'm a director of my own company, and I'm also a director of other companies as well. And I'm really proud of that, actually. I think I should be, and I am.
I've got a few points that I'd like to talk more about a little bit later, but I think we should have our starters. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan. I'm hungry.
Hi there, so we've got a nice starter for you today. It's a ballantine of rabbit, so it's a stuffed saddle of rabbit, and then, as rabbits do, they eat carrots, so we've done it with a few different ways of doing carrots. So there's a carrot puree, some heritage carrots, which are the purple and the yellow carrots, some crispy carrots, some pickled carrots, and a little bit of a pommery mustard gel. Hope you enjoy.
That's lovely, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
So I've got the tough task to match the ballantine of rabbit, which is extremely complex. So it's a very summary. I would consider it a very summary style of dish. However, you've got a lot of gaminess going on within the rabbit dish itself, within the ballantine. So I needed to go for something with a bit of body to it. I decided to go for a new wine, actually, from the new wine list that we've got, which is a Grüner Veltliner. So it's a grape variety which is coming from Austria. It's going to be dry. You've got a tiny touch of sweetness, which makes the wine a little bit more exciting. And you've got this typicity of the Grüner Veltliner, which is a hint of white pepper. So overall, it's a concentrated style of white wine, lovely freshness at the end of the palate, and I hope that it's going to match the ballantine properly. If you like to have a test.
That was delicious, wasn't it?
Really lovely.
Really, really nice. I wanted to pick up on that shared parental leave and the role of women versus men. And that statistic that you came up with, Kirsty, was fascinating about the fact that young graduates, there's no difference probably until the age of 30. Why do you think that is, ladies?
Well, I think there might be something around that about the old phrase childbearing age, and actually women, certainly now when they're reaching their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s even, are thinking about having children and what that impact that has on their careers. Now obviously it has a huge impact on the family, whatever that family looks like, but for women obviously at the moment it has a bigger impact because they're the primary caregivers. They're choosing to be primary caregivers. Be interesting to see what kind of choice there is involved in that.
When I had my daughter, I was halfway through my training and I was really determined that wasn't going to stop me completing it and then progressing my career further. I was lucky that I could kind of split the childcare and had family to support me, but I know a lot of people aren't lucky enough to be in that situation. The rules have recently changed so that fathers and mothers can split the parental leave as something that's literally just come in the last kind of year or so, but I don't think it's advertised well enough. I don't think there's enough information for people to know actually how to utilise that. Hopefully moving forward there'll be more families taking advantage of the fact that can be split so that mums can go back to work sooner.
I know there's been an experiment recently where I don't think it was in this country, where fathers literally took 6 months off to become the primary caregiver and absolutely adored it, and their children did so well. I'm wondering whether or not that's something that Cornwall could take the lead on, because we've got this fantastic environment around us, and we pride ourselves on having a work-life balance, although sometimes it feels like a work-work balance. Is this, how could we encourage Cornish companies to take the lead on this?
It's all about storytelling. It's about leading by example and finding the people that are already doing it. And there's been some brilliant commentary recently on you talk about a work balance or a work-life balance. It's actually a work-living, In the future, we will be deciding when and how and where we work. And actually, that's going to put all of this completely out the window, because it's not about, obviously traditional working models, working in shops or whatever, retail, traditional stuff is going to stay the same always, but how we model ourselves and our working careers is going to change completely. So I think it's not so much about those questions, it's about how do we go out there and show that you can do what you want, where you want, from wherever you want in the world, on the projects you want, with who you want.
Hi there again. Hope you enjoyed your starters.
It's delicious, and this looks amazing.
Good. This one for you is a duck dish that we're about to put on the menu. It's not on there yet, but it's coming soon. It's pan-fried duck breast. It's with smoked aubergine puree and charred radicchio with pine nuts and orange. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So with the main course dish, we are right in the middle of bitterness, sweetness, gaminess, so extremely complex once again. So I decided to go in the best country in the world. Should I dare saying that? Maybe not, but I'm going to go for classic actually. It's Côte du Rhône. In terms of grape variety, it's going to be classic grape variety, Syrah or Shiraz, Carignan, Mourvèdre, Cinsault. It's from a top producer called Domaine Charvin. That's 2014. It's extremely well balanced. You're going to get a lot of peppery, but more like black pepper style of character. You've got as well a lot of smokiness out of it because it has been aged in wooden barrels, and a lovely juiciness as well, which makes it quite summery and full-bodied in the same time. Okay.
Well, that main meal was fantastic, wasn't it?
Really delicious.
Oh, that duck. Oh, wonderful. So, Jess, you said something really interesting over the main meal around visibility.
Yeah.
And I think part of the problem is visibility. So, for example, we have some shining examples here, one of whom is very, very good. It's her business. But, Laura, you are a managing director of a company. You employ a lot of female staff and male staff, but that visibility.
Yeah, and I probably don't shout enough about my position and being a woman director, managing a company. There's actually one other director in the company who's also female. She's also a mum of two. So we both kind of really understand that job roles need to evolve and opportunities need to be given to other women in business. We set it up because it's kind of the business ethos where we wanted it to be, but also because it was flexible around our situations and it fitted in, and it's really taken off. And it's something that definitely, if people come on board, male or female, we want to give them those opportunities and think that it really shouldn't matter if you've got the qualifications or the experience or the drive or passion or whatever it is that you need to fill that role. I think that the gender shouldn't even come into it enough. And I probably don't shout about it again myself. Maybe it's the profession that I'm in. It's not really accountants aren't usually ones to shout about what they're doing. But I really should. And I think, again, without me doing my part, I can't really sit here and say that other women should be doing the same thing. So
I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a role for us as individuals, and also seeing your business as a model that other people can use. That and again, moving away from those traditional 9 to 5, 37 or 40 hours a week or whatever it is, and that's sort of like the traditional work ethic. And actually, we need to change. And it's interesting. We were talking about sort of promoting this this table 6. And you're absolutely right. I was saying, you tagged me on Twitter as the business or as our project, and actually I should be pushing myself forward more.
So to finish you off today, it's we've got 2 different desserts. One is a dairy-free dessert, which is a rhubarb sorbet with some poached rhubarb and some blueberries and a little bit of basil as well. In the glasses is a lemon posset with some grillotine cherries. They're soaked in some quiche, so a little bit boozy. And it's a nice tart lemon cream, and then on top just a little bit of chantilly cream with vanilla and sugar.
Oh, my favourite. Thank you so much. Well, ladies, it's been a fantastic afternoon. I'm going to ask you now for one thing that you're either going to do or take away from this amazing meal.
I'm going to take personal responsibility for the role that I have to play within bringing women in business to the fore. And to quote my current guru, Cheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of Facebook, I'm going to lean in and I'm going to sit at the table.
Wow. Fantastic.
And I agree. I think I need to shout more about what I do, about what our business does, support other women in business so that they can shout about what they do. Because I think if we kind of come together as a network, then it's the only way to push forward.
We're all on the same page. All I'm going to take out of it is to make sure that you guys actually do that. And you and all the other women in Cornwall that don't do it well enough, Cornwall and beyond. I'm more of a national big thinker than just here. I think we're one part of a bigger deal. And I think starts with you guys. Where does it end?
Absolutely, and from my point of view in the Chamber of Commerce, we're going to celebrate all of you, and we're going to work with schools and young people to show them what fantastic female entrepreneurs are in Cornwall. Thank you. So, thank you to the Penventon. We have started something today. Thank you to the Penventon, thank you to Pirate FM, and lifelong friends, ladies.
Yes, can we do a high five? Girls in.